Man, that gun is sweet, Yelon. Easy work. It's normal to have some fun, Yelon, when you're young.
I'm gonna make a video on how to put this shed right here together. So I'm gonna make a quick video for those of you who are interested in getting a shed like this. It's a 12 by 24 shed. This one on sale is $5,000, and we have a foundation, a concrete foundation, a concrete floor for it already. And I'm gonna make a small video on how to put it together. You guys can possibly try yourself as well if you decide to ever get one of these. Okay, so the very first thing you want to do when you first get all your stuff, unpack it first, and there's a list here which you want to make sure this is the wall section. So you're gonna find all this wood right here and put it together right here. Okay, we're gonna measure and see what goes where. Okay, so now that we have everything taken out of the box, we've put all the roofing material on one side over here. The rafter stuff, they're all over here. The stuff for the doors are on this side over here. Rafters are over here. There's gonna be some support 2x6 for the double doors. We have all the other material for the walls laying out here. All the trim boards, all the fascia is gonna be on that side over there. We have all the plywood over here. But we made a big mistake yesterday. We actually put plywood on the back of the wall, which I went back and read the instructions, and that's one of the mistakes which was not clear to me, which is good that I show you guys that, because you guys don't make the same mistake. So we gotta take this plywood back out, and we gotta put the actual backing boards on here. So that's a lesson for all of us to learn, because like I said, we don't have a good video on how to do this. Now when you guys put this on a concrete slab, we had to go back from 2x4x12. It's gotta be pressure treated, and it's gonna be on a concrete slab, because I'm gonna take those out and just put pressure treated on the bottom, just so it doesn't rot and termite doesn't get it. Okay, so we have to remove the panels right there. We'll put them to the side. Those are actually for the roof. So Andre's just, luckily we just used little tiny nails on there, because So before we got started, and after reading the instructions, we had to figure out which version of the shed we wanted to go with. These 12 by 24 kits or plan usually give you a few options for where the opening go. After talking it through, the customer decided to go with the double doors in the middle of that long 24-foot wall. Okay, so we've got this 24-foot wall all the way set up with the panels on here, and we're just gonna go ahead and raise this wall up. So we got the brace over there, so we're gonna raise this wall up so we can work on the other wall to go across. We'll take a look and see how it goes. Okay, so we got this wall together. It's holding by itself, but we gotta shift it all a little bit to the left side, just to make it flush to the corner over there. So right now what we have is we have to make it flush. We have to make it flush over here, so we're gonna hit it just with the sledgehammer, make it fit. Then we should be able to anchor it in with a drill. So we'll see how it goes. Alright, full disclosure for you guys, the instruction clearly state that the very first thing you do is assemble your door and window unit before building any walls. But honestly, this was the first time tackling this specific project, and we got a little ahead of ourselves. We jumped straight into the big stuff and started framing out this massive 24-foot back wall first. Our wall configuration is configuration 04, so wall 01 is actually our back wall. And you can find it on page 31 on how to put it together. So let's take a look at it. So the standard kit want you to use 3 8-foot board for the top and a puzzle of 8-foot 48-inch board for the bottom. We decided to simplify that. We picked up some 12-foot pressure treated lumber instead. Since it's touching the concrete, the pressure treated is a must for rot prevention. And 12-foot length means less assembly time and a much sturdier 24-foot run. So after you nail this whole entire frame together, what you want to do is give it some skin. The instruction call for installing the prime panel right now while the wall is still flat on the ground. This is easier than trying to hang them once the wall is standing up. There are 2 golden rules for alignment here. 1. Flush at the bottom. So you want the bottom of the panel perfectly flush with the bottom of the pressure-treated plate. This ensures a clean line where the shed meets the concrete. 2. The overhang at the top. At the top of the wall, you're going to notice the panel stick up past the frame. You want that overhang to be exactly the width of a 2x4, which is 1.5 inch. Why the gap? Well, it's because once the walls are standing, we're going to add a second 2x4 on top of the first one. This is called a double top plate. That second board will sit right on top in that 1.5 inch pocket, making the top of the wall perfectly flush with the siding. This ties all your wall sections together and gives the roof a much stronger foundation to sit on.
Let me help.
Okay, you go. We'll just move that side over. Alright, the sheeting is on wall 02 and is officially framed up. Now comes the fun part. Andrei and I are going to stand this beast up and get it into position. If you're building this exact model at home, you can find a step-by-step framing layout for this specific wall on page 33 of the manual. Okay, wait, let me help you. You got it? You got it? Yeah, I'm gonna hold you on this side. Yep.
We're a little bit off.
Oh, okay, we gotta go more, huh?
That's okay.
And
What we're gonna do?
Can we kick it on the board?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right on my side now.
Hello?
Yep. There you go. All right. Now, you hold it in the middle. I grab the sledgehammer.
Okay.
You got it?
I'm holding it.
You holding it?
Yep.
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
Oh, what? Okay. Okay. Yeah, we got this together right here. We just picked up this wall right here, so I'm going to show you guys what's next after that, okay? Very simple. Today we're gonna get started again with this shed right here. But this time what we're gonna do is we are going to go ahead and build the headers for it. Now that we've got the big box standing with all 4 walls up, it's time to bridge these gaps. We need to build the headers. If you're following along in the book, this is where we get into the heavy-duty structural stuff. So in the book, we're looking at page 25. This is gonna be the double door headers. So in the book here, it shows you all the parts required to build this double door header. Now, if you're looking at the most current version of the manual, you might see a diagram for a massive 2x10 header. But as with any build, you have to follow the specific plan for the kit you have in front of you. For the building we're putting up today, the design actually calls for 2x4 headers with blocking instead of that solid 2x10. Instead of one thick beam, we're essentially building a mini wall that sits inside the opening. We have our top and bottom 2x4s, and then we have these blocks, short vertical pieces, spaced out in between. Why the difference? Well, the 2x10 method is a solid span beam, which is great for massive weight. But this blocking method is also incredibly strong for this size shed. It creates a rigid box that prevents the wall from sagging over the doors. Plus, it makes the wall a lot lighter to work with while you're getting everything plumb. So don't get yourself confused if your book looks a little different than mine. Always stick to the framing schedule provided with your specific kit.
You never know. You know, you said they break with too much pressure.
Yeah.
Better be safe.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we agree. So you got this one leveled up for me?
Yeah, double check though.
I trust you. Man, that gun is sweet, Yellen. I didn't know I needed one.
That's expensive though. You better buy it. Wait till Black Friday, like you said.
Yeah, I just don't use it enough. Maybe next year it'll be more worth it for me, but I don't know if it's gonna be worth it even this year.
I mean, if you need it, just borrow mine for now.
Boom. Do they have their own concrete business or they just work as finishers?
No, they have their own concrete business too.
Really?
Alright guys, so let's talk about a rookie mistake we made while we were in the zone. As we were working, I didn't realize, but we actually laid the header the wrong way. In the manual, it shows the header sitting on edge, meaning the 3.5-inch side is vertical, but in the heat of the moment, we installed it flat. Now, why does it matter? It's all about structural depth. A 2x4 is incredibly strong when the weight is pushing down on the edge, but it's very flexible when it's laid flat. If we would have left it flat, the weight of the roof would have eventually bowed that board. And those doors the customer wanted, they would have bowed and jammed within a month. It should fit right in there. Oh, no, I did it wrong too. Well, there's two things I did wrong. All headers are not supposed to sit like that. Yeah, all headers supposed to be the other way around.
What do you mean?
Because the header's not supposed to be like this. There's not like this. This part right is gonna bend.
Wait, what?
Okay. Instead of having it like this way, it's supposed to be this way. There's more holding force. But if you do it this way, it's gonna sag. Do it this way, the 2x4 is way stronger. So we ended up doing exactly what you have to do when a mistake happens. We grabbed the pry bar, removed the nails, and redid the whole thing. It's a bit of a pain to pull nails out of fresh lumber, but honestly, I'd rather spend 20 minutes reframing this header now than spend 2 days trying to fix a sagging roofline next year.
Yeah, what's the lowest you take out your flail mold to a job for a customer?
Lowest?
Yeah.
2-hour job? I would say probably $400 maybe?
I told her it'd be like $1,200. It was a big hill on in a subdivision. Big overgrowth brush. And she was telling me she had a guy with a full-size skid steer bush hog it last year for $200. I was like, what? The heck? Oh, dude, that thing was so steep you could flip the machine in 1 second. Oh. So that's why I shot it high, because I was like, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
it needs to be worth it. And she was
$200, you're losing money, bro.
She was like, well, I'm gonna go ask the landscaping guys up the street. Maybe they'll do it for $200. I'm like, good luck.
So we had a stud that was in the way, and we used a sawzall to remove it because it was actually in the way of the door frame. Now that the header is flipped on its edge, it has the structural strength it needs to span this opening. We've got our block in, the orientation is finally matching the manual, and this wall is officially solid. There you go. Andrei is shooting a few more nails on the sidings to keep everything in place, and it should be good to go.
There you go.
In the meantime, I'm simply installing the headers for the windows.
That would have been sweet, yo. Damn, somebody said, I'll do it for $7.
But how did you know somebody said that?
He texted me.
Oh, he just texted you somebody?
Yeah.
That's good. So you need a tool belt.
And we gotta have it like this.
Yes. It's gotta be like that. Not the other way. Sure you wanna leave your drill up there? Well, yeah.
So we got a ladder. Oh, this ladder don't have that fancy pocket.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta get the bigger hammer. Okay. This one works.
That'll work.
I might need some more.
I got you. I got some in my pocket.
Thank you.
Yep. You don't want to move the ladder?
I got it. I'm right in the middle. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good. Well, lean it back just a bit so you have more room. Is this screws on top or is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it should just pop up. So what we're doing is we're putting the header together for this double door right here. So Andrei's got that going, and he's on drawing it. So the next thing we're gonna do is put the panels for the windows.
good like this?
Yeah, that's good. Sure. Okay, so we're done with that.
Yes, sir.
We have a little line here, but that's fine. We can just, we'll put some trim boards. Now we can go to the next page of the book, which we're gonna put a top plate on the, we're gonna go ahead and put a top plate. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put the top plate over here. So we have a 92.5 that goes right here in the middle, a 96, a 92.5 that goes over here, a 48. A 48 is gonna go on this side over here, and 92.5 is gonna go over here. 92.5 over here in the middle. It's gonna have a 96 and 96 inch. A 92.5 over there. 48 on this side over there. It's got a hammer 18 now.
Did we drill them in with the fake one? No, right?
No, you did.
Okay, Yellow. What I need you to do is pass me one of the papers.
You use this baby red.
Baby red coming in hot. Easy work, Yellow. It's normal to have some fun, Yellow, when you're young.
Yeah. I don't enjoy too much of it.
I didn't get enough fun. That's a mistake I made. I went too much serious right away.
Well, you can enjoy it later.
That's what I keep telling myself, and let's see if I'll actually get to enjoy it later. All done, you.
Okay, that's the top plate right there. What time is it?
You know, it would have been easier to shoot them all. That would have been easy.
It would be easier, yeah. It would be easy to just have somebody up top walk around and just. I got seen some guys.
Yeah, they just blocked the frame.
Okay, so we got the top plate finished up. The next thing we're gonna do now is we're gonna do the rafters,
And then we're gonna post a YouTube video on the rafters.
you're right. I'm just kidding. I assembled 11 of them. There's 13 of them total. So we're gonna go ahead and start with that.